Hebrews chapter 13, verses 16. But to do good and to communicate, forget not, for which such sacrifices God is well pleased. To say, to do good and to communicate. The key thing in any relationship, whether it's your relationship with God, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your friends, is to communicate. You got to have that open line, that open door of communication. To do good, and yes, you also to do good to them, you have to treat them good, but you also got to have that open line for communication. And for with such sacrifices, yes, it's a sacrifice, and sometimes, you got to sacrifice things for your spouse. You got to sacrifice things for your family. You got to sacrifice for God. And God is well pleased. God is well pleased if you give it wholeheartedly, if you give it to God wholeheartedly. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4, verses 4. Abel also brought the firstborns of his flock and of the fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offerings, but he did not respect Cain and his offerings. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. God has to have a respect, but you also got to have a respect for God, not just to bring, any. Abel brought him the first, the very best. You bring God your very best, and he will not reject it. You got to bring God your everything. Because in verses 7, he tells Cain, if you do well, if you do what is well, if you do what is right, if you do what is good, will you not be accepted? Yes, you will be accepted. Your prayers will be accepted by God. Your prayers will be heard by God. But you got to do what is right. You got to do what is good. And if you do not do well, if you do not do what is right, if you do not do what is good, sin lies at the door. And its desire is you. Sin's desire is you. It wants you. For you. But you will not rule over it. You see, you got to rule over that sin. You got to rule over it. It will take over you. And you see, the thing is, if Cain would have brought God his very best, he would have accepted Cain's sacrifice too. If he would have went to God, God would have accepted it.